Hello, Daycarn here, and welcome back to Torment! Last episode, well, we kinda went exploring this creepy place. Don't like it too much. And Inkpot here asked me to stop this guy from whatever he's doing. So, let's have a look. Okay, he's running around like a headless chicken.
Go.
An odd device sits in the middle of the room. It almost looks like a capsule of some sort, but it is covered with ducts and ports and vents. A strange blue light emanates from it. Cables run from its base throughout the room, attached to various devices. It vibrates with a mild, occasionally stuttering pulse. And when it falters, the field that protects the interior of the shanty briefly fades. Yeah, I'm gonna just check what you are. Okay, success. Machine encapsulates a piece of the bloom flesh, which is wired with various leads. It appears the core of a counter-stimulus device to drive the bloom back. Resonates and that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna shut it down. I'm not even gonna keep trying to pronounce his name, but I'll give it one go. That's either an I or an L. I'm guessing it's a capital I. Iksu? Iksu, I guess. This vigilant looks like you. This is definitely a side quest. Stained. He looks at you patiently and interrupts his work. His eyes step in between you and the door. His crest inflates if irritations and interruptions continue. What would you have of Iksu? Why do you keep looking at the door? He apologizes. Apologies for me, the noise of the constant interruptions.
I'll remember that.
It only shows I'm doing something worthy. Can it be it? He glances. Ah! Makina! You're getting so recognized down here. Said you were dead. No. That the Mememories had found you at last. No. She smiles grimly. Not yet. I'm surprised to see you are still alive. Iksu, I wouldn't have wagered on it. The vigilant bows. The White Death honors me. Stories of your prowess continues in the meantime. I abide, gathering learning, even in the face of protests outside. But knowledge always has its way. Yeah, what sort of work you do here? Look, smell, taste, measure, apprehension is knowledge. As I said, I'm gonna skim some of these. I'm not gonna read them all because there's so much text. Scared thoughts. To what purpose? Destruction, consumption, ascension. I fear I'll never know. Bloom doesn't sound that nice. But I don't think I'm gonna poke him yet. Side quest, I'm still looking for main quests. May come back to him.
Like a whisper.
Okay, they look.
To action!
Takamura appears dead. Its flesh is being reabsorbed into the bloom. Interesting.
Sure.
Ooh, walks without fear. Walks without fear. At first you are not sure if your eyes are playing tricks on you. A semi-transparent man shuffles and struts before you. His body fading in and out of incorporeally. His once fine clothes have rotted away. His long beard looks to be the host of any number of small vermin, and his eye sockets are disturbingly empty. Joy. Matkina. She studies the man, mentally subtracting and adding his features, and suddenly gives a sharp intake of breath. She whispers, "Can it be? Can it be? No, he couldn't have survived." Survived? Somehow the man hones in directly on your face, and you have the unnerving feeling that he can see more than what's on the surface. The staring sockets are deep and cavernous, as if they contain depth and space beyond the confines of his skull. He says nothing to you. Makina! This is the old Mememories. Don't you see? This man knows all the secrets of the bloom. He was tied to it, bonded to it. I worked for him for years alongside the such who occupies the position now. When he disappeared, she threw me out, and I looked for him for a long time. She turns her attention to the big man. Sir? Sir, it's Makina. You called me the White Death, remember? Looks without fear. He turns his cavernous eye sockets to her and studies her for a long time, considering. Life begins to seep into his face, and a small smile creeps across his face. His lips. I think I remember, but memories are lost in the telling, he thinks again. But better to tell it now and have the story remembered. So, you say I am the old Mememories? So, we must speak of it. Of the new who understand my tale. That face, so familiar. Mememories? Yes. And she's my White Death, I remember. Creepy. Walks without fear, his lips part in a feral smile as he grasps at the last of his memories in his mind. The new Mememories. Pah! What has she done worth mentioning? Who trembles at her voice? Tell me. Who fears her steps? Who among her people wouldn't slip a blade into her back? She did for me. It's true, her in the country. But I had loyal retainers to the end, loyalty and fear. Like a fist, she may have taken my place, but she'll never match my rule. If the bloom hadn't turned against me after my decade in power, I'd be there still, but she dragged me to the heart of the beast and let it sift through my mind, fed it all my crimes, and then she left me there. He swallows. Ask questions of me while the fragments of my memory still linger. Ask now and make your questions count. Tell me about your aim. What do you think of the new one? How did the new one unseat you? That's it. She knew the bloom was angry with me. She told me she'd been below and seen something that she thought might explain why I lost my bond. I didn't know she'd hidden her kills around the bloom, or that she was the one who ruined shipments and driven off the citizens. She put her muscle into play, and I never saw it, and she took me to the heart of the bloom, he swallows. When you went Matkina, when you went down, her thugs moved in. They killed everyone in the fortress who had sworn for you. They hunted us down in the belly of the bloom. They cast us through miles under unfamiliar suns. I fled into the city with a few of your lieutenants, and we had to kill some of our friends to get through the gates. And once we settled up in there, she started hunting us in the city too. She shakes her head. She cast aside your years of tradition to hunt me. I'd have sworn loyalty when you died. Nothing you could have done, nothing. She was bold and fast. What happened? She brought me through a new moor and entry to the heart I'd never seen. It was then that I knew what she intended, and we fought, but she was fast and strong, and I was old and drunk. She didn't kill me, though. Oh no, she wanted me to suffer for the crimes of raising her up. She bound me there and stood above me and reveled in my pain as the bloom sucked away everything that I was. I'll say this for her. She was better at malice than I ever was. Such excruciating pain. But that memory slips as well, thank the gods. Yeah, that sounds lovely.
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Oh, joy, oh joy. Well, that's horrible.
Go.
We also got other things to do. I might talk to him again later, because that seems to be leading somewhere else. So many mini quests. Definitely a game. Ooh. This would be definitely an interesting game to stream if I had the ability to, but Because there's so many different choices and paths, but I'm wondering how many different endings there are. And if your choices really do matter, but it seems so far, yes. Okay, as you enter the slums, you nearly crash into a small confrontation. 5 mutants surround 3 guards dressed in distinctive garb of the Mememories enforcers. Before you hear them say a word, you already know the mood here is ugly over. Mutant who looks like his face is full of spores or insect eggs leans towards the disgruntled terrified human and says, "You are leaving a trail of fear piss. Who'd pay you for protection? We're done with the Mememories. She's out." One of the other guards, less phased, pushes the mutant back. "It ain't fear piss, it is the spit you're spraying when you talk. Why do you go hatch your eggs by burying your face in a pillow? Real people are conducting business here." Second mutant, one who's been observing the fire, noticeably bristles, fallen is literally emerging from his arms, shoulders, and face, and he pushes forward. Every damn one of you looks the same. 2 arms, 2 legs, no surprises. You wanted to collect our money? I'll make you eat it and your friends can collect it from your rotting. Oh, lovely. The mutant punctuates each sentence with an increasingly vicious stab of its fingers. You can feel a bloody tide rising, and if you wish to intervene, clock's winding down. Let's try and talk my way out of this. Okay, who's first? Eritus! Of course. It's Baby Mutant. You focus on the fawn-covered mutant and the weight of your gaze turns his head. "What do you want, human? You want in on the long due bloodletting? You better talk fast. We're itching to get started." Yeah, ask what's happening. He snorts. "They came to collect the protection money for the Mememories, but the Mememories can't enforce anything. She's weak. Everyone knows it. Look at these poor specimens. They can't even protect themselves." Skepticism and distrust mars the mutants' already unpleasant fears. They don't know or trust you. Okay. Let's get you to talk to the sergeant. What would you have of us? Ask the situation, deception, suggest the mirror. Let's try. Continue. Success. He opens his mouth to disagree, then realizes what you are saying. Ah, yes, of course. The Mememories keeps a close eye on her patrols. This money is important to her operation. She needs backup to make sure none of it goes missing. They're bloody-minded bastards too. The mutant muscles tense as they lean away. They exchange worried glances. Getting there. The thugs seem to calm for the men whose lives are being threatened. They recognize the words, but they don't seem to believe they're in much danger. Who's next? Okay, let's get you to work.
Feels like everything's going to be all right.
The spine-covered mutant's eyes remain focused on the forces. Yeah, let's try. Success. So far, so good. The mutant leader looks at his fellows and back at you, and he makes some calculations. "We understand you want to stay at the good side," he replies, "but this has to end. Unless you can think of another way, we have to put them down before they steal the last of the shins." The eyes of the mutants are no longer glowering at you. Indeed, they are almost intrigued. And let's...
Ready for whatever
2 on 1
comes.
on each of them. Sorry. Let's put them in very collection fault. Yeah, let's ask. She pays us mostly on the mercenaries who come through the mall and bribes the Sagas officials, but she's been falling further and further behind on those payments. He swallows and looks at the mutants around him. Like, as not she'll want vengeance if we fall, she needs this money. She'll use her nastiest tricks to get it back. The mutant leader shifts his weights and the sergeant speaks, but he does not retreat. The thugs are alert, but they are not frightened. They don't seem... Yeah. Okay. Goons aren't welcome here anymore. Oh, back off mutant. Okay, error test. Whew. Da-da-da. That's guys. The mutant's leader looks at his fellows and back at you, and then he makes some kickers. As you say, he replies, scowling at his Comanches, then says to them, "These are deaths we can save for another time. No point in bloodshed with outsiders witnessing." They too look at you, and some unspoken agreement fills their eyes. The human sergeant wastes no time, my fags, he says it over his shoulder as he hustles the troops towards their exit. We won't forget this. Run, rabbits! And I'm
the boredom slayer.
I just love hearing Erica's voice. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for today. This is Daycarn signing off. Bye!